What's today's date?
The 24th. You want me to record it?
Please do.
Okay.
Please do. It's around here. Okay. There we go. Water. Okay. I'm just fortunate. Those who be tuning in, I know it's been a while since I've been on live our weekly show. Freedom already on Wednesdays. We've been so caught up moving around the dressing room situations. We've not been do our weekly show on Wednesday as well as our Saturday show. Triple C Saturday. Constantly battle to save and maintain the Hampton house. Matter of fact, right now we just got back in town, and you see they got a notice up there. Told them they couldn't get access to the house. They want to cut the water off again. Those who've been following us know we've been in a battle to keep everything, the house, the water, heat, everything. So it's a constant battle. We got to keep we don't put our guards down. And also, I haven't given an official response yet, on which we will be probably around this upcoming IRD, International Revolutionary Day, December the 4th, which will be the 50th anniversary of the assassination of Chairman Fred, defense of Lamar Clark. And I'll be doing straight interviews, in particular, with Brother Darren Muhammad and others, going into this whole discussion about in regards to this movie situation in regards to Chairman Fred. And it's been a battle. It is a battle. I said I'll never look at TV the same, you know what I'm saying? Again, just even the intricacies and the battle of the nuisance, just on the front line to defend the legacy of Chairman Fred, defending Lamar Clark. No regrets on our position that we've been moving with this, but again, it's a continuous battle. And everything is political, including propaganda, so I'll be giving more detailed information about that. But anyway, also in addition, right now, so I'm not gonna jive y'all. We go through battle fatigue. I'm fortunate to be sitting here today. We do interviews, we do speeches at different places, so on and so forth. And sometimes you need that shot in the arm and that shot in the arm comes from the people. I was contacted, I'm with these young brothers introduce themselves. Students right here, we in Chicago, go to school. And just the conversation thus far has been phenomenal. I'm going to let them introduce themselves. I'm going to let y'all step in with us while we go through some of these questions and, in the conversation, you know what I'm saying? So again, if y'all can, y'all names and how old y'all are also. Frame on.
I'm Herbert Moore, and I'm 10 years old. And I go to National Teachers Academy.
My name is Darnell Moore. I'm 12 years old, and I go to National Teachers Academy.
I'm going live right now. Y'all come, so I'm about to go live, so I'm here. All right, yep, I will. Frame on. So, you first, hold on, you forgive me, introduction one more time, so the age got
My name is Herbert Moore, and I go to National Teachers Academy, and I'm a 5th grader.
My name is Darnell Moore. I'm 12 years old. I go to National Teachers Academy, and I am in 7th grade.
I wanted to just reiterate that the ages. A lot of times people take a position, they're too young to know this, children don't know this, so on and so forth. Their parents, I'm just telling because of the mother right now, I want to again commend y'all, the parents, because a lot of times when you've asked questions about our people, you know what I'm saying, it's humbling for a lot of times for parents to say, well, I'm not familiar with certain situations, whatever, or even tell children to say, well, don't talk about that. That's you don't have those type of discussions. But I want to commend their parents for not only not encouraging just in an abstract type of way. You say, okay, let me find these people, you know what I'm saying, and talk to make this connection. Y'all can talk to them. And by the way, I want to put a People's All Points bulletin out for the brothers with Central Park 5. They want to talk to them also. But I'm saying to say, so many cases. In fact, even in regards to this movie situation we're talking about, I'm constantly running to people who say, well, who have misinformation, and I said, where you get this from? And well, we got this from this internet, this book, this white author. I said, well, you get the opportunity to talk to people that were directly there, that's directly there. Why not? It's the deal is a lot of people don't want to know the truth. And a lot of people say, well, Chairman, I don't know this because, you know what I'm saying, people don't know. This, again, these youngsters said, I mean, not just the youngsters, their parents, say, let's go, talk to people directly. So I'm going to commend them. First thing, we sit down, Brother Herbie, he looks around, he notices the pictures of Minister Huey P. Newton. He says Huey Newton, and this is, I just want to commend him for that. We had a conversation about Ella Baker, Frank Lou Hamer, Stephen Biko. There's more to come, so I just want to invite y'all in. Y'all, so my voice is gone. My voice is gone. I've been, last couple of days, struggling with some adults who really have a contending agenda. So this is inspiring to me now. So I think to be able to talk to some people who really want to know some information. So I'm gonna get my tea. It's a good conversation. We're gonna move forward with that, y'all. So that being said, as we were going.
Well, my first question was, why did your mom change your name from Alfred Johnson?
My mom changed. Okay, actually, my mom changed my name. My actual name, is Hampton. She later on, she had changed. Ironically, you asked that question. What is this picture? It's a picture. Okay, matter of fact, it is. The Alfred Johnson, you probably heard about me that name. That was an alien. Her last name was Johnson. Deborah Johnson. That's her name. Now, when I give the background. The Panther Party was a revolutionary organization. It took everything. It stressed everything was political. And this is something also, like the battle I've been going through recently. You know what I'm saying? Even in regards to this movie, talking to people. I said, a lot of people don't like even the concept of what a revolutionary is. A lot of organizations, they'll talk. It's like a 9-to-5 job to them. The Panther Party, and in particular, Illinois chapter, they stressed this, the whole internalizing of the struggle. It was not just, we're going to dress this way, we're going to talk this way. Everything about it, the way our relationships in our family, you know what I'm saying, it was a position of self-determination, which means having the right to determine our own destiny. Nobody can tell us what to do. And that went down to even their titles. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people say that the system said, okay, this is your title. It made you official. The Panther Party said, no, he was the chairman, not because the mayor of Chicago acknowledged it. Deputy Minister of Health, Dr. Satchel, was the Deputy Minister of Health, not because the Center for Disease Control acknowledged it. The Berkeley program, they said, we did a study, the people, the Black Panther Party, and we found out these children were going to school and their grades were not up to par. And and say, man, nobody, no child, black, white, or red, can talk about a mathematical problem. What's the correct nouns, adverbs? If your stomach is empty. So they had the free breakfast program. Their relationships. The Panther Party took pride in saying that Chamber President, this is his wife. You know what I'm saying? Not because City Hall said it. You follow what I'm saying? So that was his wife. Deborah Johnson was his wife. And they take a position. They say, we're not going out to the state. You know what I'm saying? To validate. That's not knocking nobody else. You know what I'm saying? But they were actually like fighting this system. You know what I'm saying? In all means. My name, the Johnson, you probably came across, was one of the aliases I used. I was taking the jail one of the cases they had given me. My mother was real big about my names also. In fact, something sticks in my mind, and it's a battle I'm going through. And I keep referencing some struggles I'm going through right now, like in regards to this movie about certain things, without giving all the insights to it. There's pros and cons to it. On one hand, I want to deal with this movie because it opens the door to get more information out to the people. But at the same time, we never are open to compromising the legacy of Chairman Freeman of the Black Panther Party. Ted and Jake, Nathaniel, Ted, and Jake were some of my middle names. These are members of the Black Panther Party. One of those individuals, on this picture right here, I'm going to show you. You can see it. This individual right here on the corner, my mother took his to the left. That's Nathaniel. His name that used to be my middle name. One of my middle names. Jake is the name that Chairman Fred wanted me to be named after. Chairman wanted me to be named after Jake. Jake was Spurgeon Jake Winters. Remember that. Spurgeon Jake Winters. In fact, we battling right now about how he's depicted. You know what I'm saying? Jake was a courageous force. Spurgeon Jake Winters was assassinated November 13th, 1969 by Chicago Police Department on 58th Calumet, south side of Chicago. Chairman wanted that to be my first name. That's my middle name. When my mother, Deborah Johnson, when she found out that Nathaniel was associated with William O'Neill was the major and main informant that gave information about the Black Panther Party. She went down and got that, took out my name. You know, so she didn't play no games. She said she wanted took out. Nathaniel took out my name. And so throughout my life, I've been harassed, targeted, you know what I'm saying? And there have been times I've been in police stations. And they say, you know what I'm saying, one particular time, 61st and Racine, police station's closed down now. And the younger police was saying, which one is Hampton? Which one is, it was 7 of us, last name Hampton. And the police the older police came and said, you don't have to ask him that question. He pulled out the file cabinet, pulled out the picture, and put the picture to our faces. And I was the third person. When it got to my face, he said, that's your man right there. So there have been times I've had to use different names for survival. You know what I'm saying? I had to use to move around people, you know what I'm saying, to say, to stay alive. You know what I'm saying? Not that I'm embarrassed of my of the name, but again, there's sometimes I had to move, under what we call incognito. Yep.
Another question I had was, what was your life like growing up at Hampton?
Kind of goes into the question you just asked about the name. What was my life like growing up, the son of Chairman Fred? A lot of people romanticize revolution. In other words, they have this pretty picture of it. You know, it's always beautiful. Oh, you're the son, you Chairman Fred's son. You know what I'm saying? That could be great. There's a lot of heat comes with it. I recall writing. I'm kind of like, really like tripping, or kind of like.
A lot of pressure.
A lot of pressure. But I'm flashbacking right now. A lot of things. The fact that we having this conversation with 5th and 7th grade, I recall getting suspended for writing about him in school. Just writing about Chairman Fred, my father, getting suspended in school. I recall a lot, you know, saying just even police pulling me, other children over, we walking. I'd say a different name. But also, I've been embraced by, the people, you know what I'm saying? So I said a poem one time. A lot of people want to know how does it feel to be cited by you, if you be my father. Being loved by the people and sweated by the you know who. If I had my choice to do it all again, I said, Daddy, if I had my choice to do it all again, I would choose to be your son. By the way, that lady that you chose, that was the one. And I remember there's one guy, I was about 14, 15 years old. His name was Scotty. Some sister had said, it's a guy going around telling everybody he's Fred Hampton's son. So I went to look for him. And I asked him, I said, you saying you Chairman Fred's son too? He said, well, I'm everyone's son. I'm Honorable Elijah Muhammad's son. I'm Malcolm X's son. I'm Jeff Ford, Larry Hoover's son. I said, no, I'm not talking about that way. I said, who was your father? He said, well, I didn't mean it that way. I said, I was hoping that I had a brother. So some of this heat, this pressure that comes with it, you can take some of it. Because a lot comes with it. A lot comes with it. I've been fortunate to be in contact with my, party members, my mother, to really have an objective. When we talk about objective and subjective, you know what I'm saying? Not to have a subjective viewpoint, like, oh man, my daddy gone, but to understand what he fought for. It was for me, for us, for our people. You know what I'm saying? It was not a personal, subjective, stingy position. You know what I'm saying? So it reminds me a lot of heat. Like even I'm going through some stuff right now. And sometimes I sit down like I battle fatigue. I'm like, whew, man, this way, you know what I'm saying? Just to defend the fight, the legacy. To say when people try to twist them around, you know what I'm saying? And it's not because you never hear me say the police killed my daddy. You hear me say that the government assassinated one of our leaders, Chairman Fred. That does not take him away from being my father. But he's an example. Like this house, they tried to turn this house to a drug house. And it was in the police, they were working with it, they were complicit with it, they were engaged with it. We call it salt in the earth. They wanted this place to be known as just a drug spot. You feel what I'm saying? The place that Chairman Fred, they grew up in. You know what I'm saying? We found this brown corduroy coat, that coat right there that he got on. We found it. My mother, his wife got to hold it, his widow got to hold it. Since she's since 50 years. This is at the school he went to was across the street. Children went to that school right across the street, the elementary school, and children who went to that school did not know who he was, and he lived here. You say, wait a minute, all these people, I know you don't know that. Once we started talking to these children, they seen our programs, our Triple C, Children's Community Clubs, the fight. They walk different. They hold they have a pride now. They say, man, they look at each other different. Like, man, we go to school. That, man, they talk about it. They battle each other. They say that might be the chair he sat in going to school. That might be the classroom he in. They say that's the house he grew up in. They look at themselves different. They say, man, he was 14 years old, 13 actually, taking the junior NAACP from 7 to 300 members in 7-month time period. The government they tapped this telephone right here in this house. When he was 14, they thought it was a typo, like made a mistake. They said, this guy can't be 14 with stuff he's doing. And we said, if he's 14 doing that, what I can do? So we're told to believe that, oh, you just children, be quiet. The Panther Party shook that. They changed that. They came from ages 14 to 24 years old. They shook it up. Answer that question?
Yeah.
Okay. Right on. You feel free to, whatever Daniel you jump into them. Y'all feel free.
What made you follow in his footsteps?
What made me follow in his footsteps? I'm gonna rephrase the question. What made me follow in their footsteps? I say I feel fortunate in falling from the tree of two freedom fighters, Chairman Fred, Nicole, and Jerry. Deborah Johnson. The Panther Party. I didn't look forward to it. Like, I didn't grow up saying, I can't wait till I go to prison. I can't wait till the police try to kill me. I can't wait till I get harassed. The conditions, I was deprived of that. And I did, my mother and the party did their due diligence to tell me about this. However, it was a climate where it was nothing to reinforce that. Other people I grew up with, my contemporaries, they would laugh at me and say, man, he crazy. He think he back in the 1960s. You know what I'm saying? It's hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to have somebody to communicate with. You know what I'm saying? And my friends now, they tell me, say, remember we used to go watch movies on your father? You would get mad at us and you put a videotape. We laugh at the clothes they wore. You were going to fight us in the basement all the time. I say, I remember that. I always, I felt it. I was deprived of that vehicle. I had spoken at the funeral of a guy, Stanley Tookie Williams. You heard of him? Tookie Williams was the co-founder of the Crips in L.A. I spoke at his funeral. We actually not at his funeral. We had to go leave and do our own thing because there was people who felt that they really wanted to just have a showboat. They didn't really want the real deal there. So we went to the community to that event in Lamert Park. And I said, Tookie Williams grew up like in a climate like I grew up, deprived of such an organization as the Black Panther Party. I said, never again, not on my watch, will we be deprived of that, that organization. And, some people's cup of tea may be, they can look and say they have role models, basketball players, different. We facing conditions where the Panther Party was a example. Say, this is how they dealt with the situation. It was cool. Like, they made it, even everything from their nappy heads to the way they talked. I felt that. That was it's the thing they say in church. They say, what's your calling? What do you believe is your calling? What do you believe that fits you? A lot of us, we got forced into certain stuff. Not talking to people like, okay, well, you like a Muslim? I was, and no disrespect to that, but the Panther Party, that was my call. You know what I'm saying? We were deprived of that. It gave me a way to be who I am, fight for the people, deal with our issues, our contradictions. In other words, like the difference we have with each other, and and speak on our own terms, not wait for somebody else to tell us, okay, you can say this, or we made it official. You know what I'm saying? So, for as long as I can remember, but I was deprived of that late on my late teens. You know what I'm saying? And this is because people and the comrades, but also the system. They have forced me to say, you know, this is what you got to do. This is your calling, because we are still attacking. We are still hitting some of the main issues that Chairman Fred Sr. and Black Panther Party was talking about way back then.
So it's kind of like your destiny kind of.
Oh man, real, yeah. Yes. I believe it's my destiny, and yes, I believe it's my destiny, and you know, the good, the bad, and the ugly. The good, like I say, it's times when you know, man, I don't get, we go through a lot of humbling experiences. You know what I'm saying? You don't. Being a revolutionary, you know, a lot of, you don't live long. In a lot of cases, and the pay is short. It's a lot of, there's other opportunities. People can say, well, we'll give you more money if we give you money if you just don't say this, you don't do this, you don't talk about, you know, how much you love the people. You don't actually fight for it. You don't. They have created organizations. Say, how about this? And to know this, to know who he was. Say, no, this is my, you know what I'm saying? And not to go against other people. Say, if you choose something else, that's your destiny. But this our destiny, you know what I'm saying? To be able to stand up and fight and speak on our own terms. The police still shoot his tombstone up every year. They're not forgotten. To be able to live and have, you know what I'm saying, again, to have an impact on our people. To that point that the system still has not forgotten you. Every day I learn more about him. Every day I come into contact with people telling me how he impacted other people's lives. And you know, some people say they're gonna better themselves, and that's their thing. But to be a servant of the people, you know what I'm saying, to learn from people, to be able to, in a city that was and remains to be the most top segregated cities, in other words, Chicago, the race question, how he was respected, all races, he may not be liked in a lot of arenas, but the respect. That's, you know what I'm saying? I was just told some people just recently with regards to this movie. I was trying to explain to them that. And they can't understand it. They can't understand it. How was he able to do what he do? How was he able to go talk to different street organizations? How was he able to move? How did he lead an organization that fed 3,500 children a week minimum? And a lot of people don't know that. That's why they tell you, I'm going through battles right now. They should change the numbers around because they don't want to. Because a lot of times people don't know certain things because it fronts them off. It make them look bad. Like, if he doing that, what am I doing? What have I did? But he would do it in a way, he done it in a way that did not embarrass other people. He would say, well, you can do this. This one brother was in the Black Panther Party. His name was Jack. He dressed real nice. He said other Panthers would do, they mess with him like, man, you get the same color underwear, same t-shirt, same shirt, same all that, you be so dressed and so sharp. He said, but Chairman would know where to put him at. One time Chairman told him to go get some, pick up this milk, donation for the free breakfast program. And the guy was like, man, them racist people ain't gonna give me no milk. Chairman said, huh? He said, I went down there, he said, I couldn't help. He said, they looked at me crazy, he said, I was listening about Chairman Fred to come get this milk. He said, they carried it all, put it on the truck, everything, and brought it for the free breakfast program. And it's, and the belief that Chairman had in him to see your potential, and if you don't see your own potential, you know what I'm saying, and bring it out of you. And not just for your own personal gain, but to have an input, a commitment to a people. You know, that's a feeling that a lot of people don't, you know what I'm saying, have never had. Doc Satchel, he was the Deputy Minister of Health for the Black Panther Party. In Vietnam, they still talk about him right now. This is how much he was committed. Man, Chairman Fred said, if you're sick, don't go to Cook County Hospital. You might go down there for a common cold, you come up dead. Somebody else wanted your sex organs, your brain tissue. He said, they want organ death way back then. He said, come see Dr. Feelgood. Dr. Satchel was on a college campus, Ronald Satchel. He heard Chairman Fred speak, committed. He said, I feel this guy's sincere. I'm with this. You know, you had deputy education. You know what I'm saying? That Che. You had Deborah Johnson. You had who when she met him, she talked about this. She gave her poetry. You know, because she said everything about poetry. That and he said if it ain't talking about the struggle, it ain't related to when we going down. What's happening? It ain't happening. And that stuck with her. You know what I'm saying? She said, man, this. She had to reanalyze herself. You know what I'm saying? And I've been fortunate that have day-to-day conversation with comrades. Some I look for y'all to get to meet up, Stan and so many others who really, we still have the ongoing conversations. And when I talk, I always say that there were those that were in the Black Panther Party, and there were those that was Black Panthers. Different, big difference. Some people just happen to be in an organization. Some were committed. You know what I'm saying? And you got to really listen and see how these situations. Right now, there are people who made a lot of money off the life of Chairman Fred and the death of Chairman Fred. Lawyers who wrote unauthorized books. People try to do movies without checking in. They get lawyers. One guy, he told me doing this speaking December 3rd, right after the state was the bank was trying to take in his house. And these people making money, and they never had no support for this. But not only him is going to be exposed, the ones that was in the Panther Party, because it's a Panther, you say, why would they continue to go support this dude? And then they come say nothing about Chairman Fred's house being taken. You know what I'm saying? But the politics exposes all that, and you don't romanticize believe everybody was about to struggle. It was an atmosphere that forced a lot of people to play like they down with it. But you gotta always remember, some people say it's like an American Revolution. Thomas Jefferson said with the American Revolution, 1/3 was for it, 1/3 was against it, and 1/3 went whichever way the wind blew. It was the struggle of our people. There are some people who just faking, you know what I'm saying? And we gotta recognize that it's a reality.
Like, some people didn't know or care, they just did it for money.
We always think money is something that we always think of all the time. It's that plays a role, however, it's different. The system studies us. They see openings, voids, deficiencies, absences in us. It's something that we're missing. And they play up for that. Some people have issues with. They say, okay, I know you don't. I know you don't like your brother about this day on Tuesday. This time we got more lunch than you at school. I'm gonna show you a way I can get you more lunch. They play up for that. They go to certain people because you want a little more attention. And the deal is, all of us have complexes or issues. Whether it be, something about how we look, our weight, or where we talk, or where we live at. There's always something about us that we don't, that we feel like something wrong with me, and the deal is, the Panther Party, the politics gives us the ability to say up front, the fight to say, I'm a country, I have pros, I have cons, I have issues. You know what I'm saying? However, as Tupac said, I'm struggling to make sure that my pros outweigh my cons. You know what I'm saying? And not to let anybody else play up for that. It was trying to use like even children, but adults go for this too, peer pressure. You know what I'm saying? But somebody can come and say, oh, you want to be tough, you go do, if you show me how tough you are, you go do this. And not until we'll miss it, like, wait a minute, this person not even doing that. The person is telling me to prove to them that they're tough. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times people they play up for it. They're coming, and that's what. So it don't even be just money. Sometimes they'll grab people. They know they got a complex or issue about, if they're black enough, if they this enough, if they're more street enough, and they'll play up for it and say, prove to me that you're black. You know what I'm saying? Prove to you that you're tough. You know what I'm saying? And then a lot of times some of them will do it, and a lot of times they won't even do it. They have other people do it. You know what I'm saying? Chairman, it's a speech I want to pull up. He talking to a group of white people, the anarchists. These are white people that they was just going out as tandem stuff. And the reality was they didn't get the same repercussions the black community got. You know what I'm saying? They might get locked up, if that. You know what I'm saying? Black people were getting killed. And Chairman Fred said, we gonna tell y'all, we telling y'all right in y'all face what Malcolm X said. When shepherds lead sheep up to slaughter, you say you're traitors. You say you're playing games with people's lives. You know, so the chairman, the position they made, they took the people into account. They were servants of the people.
When did you realize that doing things or joining the Black Panther Party was like what you really, really wanted to do?
I always had this love for the Black Panther Party. You know what I'm saying? Again, I was deprived of that vehicle. So we can have conversations. One thing to have conversations, but to really take theory and practice and wed them, connect them. You know know what I'm saying? In fact, we say theory without practice is blind. I mean, a lot of people, you know, on YouTube, a lot of people, they have a lot of good words. A lot of people have good conversation. The Panther Party said, no, you really don't know. If you can read about water all day, how to open this top, you know, so you know, you got to do it. To really, I can't think that, first we had the Prisoners of Conscience Committee, you know what I'm saying? Before that, I was actually affiliated with an organization called the Rural Movement. Before that, I had an unofficial love for our people. I would do certain things, but the political analysis, you know, the connection to our people that would listen at certain times, it wasn't always consistent. The POCC, which we had founded, but before that, you know what I'm saying, even they became they interchanged the name to Black Panther Party Cubs. I seen as my call and my destiny. I was tested. I was contested under contested conditions. That means contested conditions mean you see a lot of people, like they call them conscious rappers, conscious artists. They'll say good stuff. When it comes down to doing something, they can't do nothing. Like, you know, you'll see right here in Chicago, a lot of conscious artists. Oh, I love black people. Like, well, are you know what I'm saying? Are you doing any work? Are you doing? You know what I'm saying? They can't say nothing. Mm-hmm. We hold people feet to the fire. To be a Black Panther Party Cub, you got to do a certain amount of Cub community service. You got to be out there in that freezing cold doing those in the triple C's, the Children's Community Cub, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. A lot of people they talk about they know Fred Hampton, but not in a real way. Even people that was the Panther Party, a lot of people in the Panther Party to this day do not know what the Black Panther Party was about. They sat back from this, to touch a bunch of words and books, so on and so forth, to engage in it. So to face it, I mean, to contest it, to be under pressure for it, to get put in isolation for mentioning it, to see when the police surrounded me right here in front of this house, for us doing the program, the feed, serving the people, the triple C's, and the community saying, man, they doing the same thing the Panthers did, y'all harassing them. But to face that, the police with guns drawn on us, to shut the program down, and they still say, to have that feeling of commitment, it's something that's difficult to explain. You know, I was trying to explain to these people in this movie situation recently about, no, you do not understand about the importance of Deborah Johnson saying when she stopped doing poetry. She committed her life. When the police came there shooting, she felt the shells coming in the mattress. She 19, it's turned 19, she 8.5 months pregnant with me. Her husband next to her, when he put his head up and put it back down, she knew something was wrong. A lot of people waited until they came back and did an autopsy, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to call you right back. I'm going to do an interview with you right back. Very well. So to have that, she covered down over it. She didn't have to wait for no autopsy to come and see and find out how they put the Seconal, the drugs. They put it in the Kool-Aid that night before. She had that. And one lady was talking to me. She was crying. She said, "I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I know any women. I don't know if I know any people that would have done that." And the deal is the ecosystem is off balance too. It was an ecosystem in place that it set the atmosphere. It was a different type of athlete, a different type of boxer, a different type of singer. James Brown was saying, "I'm black and I'm proud." After Muhammad Ali was talking about, you know, I'm not going to Vietnam and fight no yellow man, you know what I'm saying, who never called me nigga. The ante was upped. You could talk about disrespecting sisters, you know what I'm saying? You could talk about breaking in nobody's house, you know what I'm saying? It was a climate. Even it was insult to cause, you know what I'm saying, a gang member. Even the street organizations, we call them the Upper East Side Street Tribes, it was a group called, they were called the Devil Disciples. They get up publicly after a couple of situations with Chairman Fred that pulled, the encounter, the police pull up on them, the police named Red, he pulled up in the paddy with a paddy wagon, and the chairman was talking to the disciples, and disciples talk about this to this day. And they say, man, you know who I am, Chairman Fred said, I know you is, your name Red, you've been harassing the community, you know who I am, and them days over. And the commitment, well, the disciples, they don't just work in the free breakfast program. They get up public, so we now change our name from Devil Disciples. We're the Black Disciples. Due to political occasion we received, Chairman Fred Black Panther Party. You see the whole change, you know what I'm saying? You seen with FBI total vice lords, they get them 16th Street. If they can open, the Panther Party can open the free medical center on 16th Street. Chairman Fred won them to end up, they working at the free medical center. And so it wasn't even the music, it was second nature, you know, to fit your comrades, you know what I'm saying, to be able to, you know, to get up, move the paper, serve the people. It wasn't some type of these conversations like, you know, well, who's with this person, who's going with this person. People committed. They said we had a bigger issue. We had war, and it was an acknowledged war. It was, you know, it was a case called Pontiac 17, where these 17 prisoners, you know what I'm saying, had these cases. The average of people fighting to work on the cases. You know what I'm saying? Children looked at prison different. They knew what was happening. Children said, no, my daddy locked up, because they understood what a guy named William Thoreau wrote in Civil Disobedience. In an unjust society, the only place a place for a just man or a just woman was prison. They were not confused. There was a war on drugs. It was a war on our people. It was a different. You look at the music. You can look at the way they walked, the way they talked. It was a different era of time. And we fighting for that climate now. And it's coming. It's coming. There are certain necessary ingredients. Like you got Trump now, you had Nixon then. You know what I'm saying? And the deal is, Malcolm X said the collective consciousness of the people ticks slowly, but it erupts in a volcanic force that make Mount St. Helens look like nothing.
So your mom was like you were saying that she gave up poetry and like because she would have to be fully committed to what she was doing.
At that time, there was contending ideologies, contending ways of thinking, contending like it was forcing you to do. Some people were saying this is how we're gonna be free, not through struggle, not through revolution. There was, you know what I'm saying. Some people were saying if we dress right, we'll be free. Some people were saying if we knew poetry, we'll be free. If we knew art, we'll be free. So the Panther Party had to clean house. They said, whoa, we can engage in those different things, however, on our terms. Because most of the cases, people were engaged in those entities through the system's terms. They were like people engaging in with the guns through going in the army and fight or going on the street fighting each other. They said no. They said we had to clean house. Say, man, hold on. You gotta get political education before you can put your hand on the gun again. You must understand this is a different gun. You got to clean house. You have to look at you have to clean house. You have to, your clothing, the way you view your culture. You have to understand it's a different dynamic. You have to clean house. The way you view poetry has been given to you in a sanitized, a watered down way. You know what I'm saying? It's not addressing the issues our people are going through. We have to clean house. We have to clean house and say, now, this has got to be addressed. So now, you know what I'm saying? They know in my life, I'm about 10, 11 years old. I wonder why poetry was in me. You know what I'm saying? I do some poetry thing. And later on life, we talking, came out, she said, yeah, I was really into poetry. But we were facing so much situations, you know, it was going down that we leave no opening for somebody to take us up the side track and say, this is, you fight that way, I fight that way. People was very clear, no, this is the struggle. And with inclusive in that struggle, we can use poetry, we can use the gun, we can use this and that. However, understand that the way that we view it has to be a respect of acknowledging this is the vanguard party, this is how we view our culture, how we view our situation, our problem. It cannot be sidetracked. How we view our issues in our community between men and women. It cannot be open for another line and say, okay, well, all women get together, and you know, we're not going to talk about the question of race. You know, we're not going to talk. No, this is inclusive of the conversation. Let's get all guns together. And you know, let's talk about, you know, where you come from. No, you don't get everybody get leather jackets. The Hells Angels, the Panthers are the same thing. No, they're not. So everything had to clean house just and then able to go back. Kind of like what America does sometimes. They say create chaos and restore order. That's what they do. They destroy everything and then they give it to you again on their terms. America did. They attacked the indigenous community, the native people. They called Indians. Attacked them. They told them that they're going to teach their children how to grow corn. But they made it illegal for them at first. They said, no, you can grow corn. Now you can eat because they're telling you how to eat. You know what I'm saying? So they did. We said, no, we just got to go. We're going to say, we're going to deal with issues, we're going to do poetry on our terms, come from us.
What were you taught about your dad when you were growing up?
What was I taught about him growing up? He was committed. He was committed. He really believed he was a Black Panther, man, body and soul. He served the people. You know what I'm saying? he I heard stories about one guy told me he joined the Black Panther Party. He was at the Black Panther Party headquarters. And the mafia, you heard the mafia?
Yeah.
Like the organized crime, the white mafia. They had came to him and told him, this is a famous mafioso guy named Sam Giancano. His men that came that they said, Jim Fred, we're gonna make you a rich man. They came to the headquarters. 2350 West Madison. And Cherry Fred said, what do you mean? He said, we're gonna make you a rich man. Now keep in mind, they was already giving other people the drugs to sell to the black community already. They told Cherry Fred, you don't have to sell it. You're gonna be rich by letting it come through. Cherry Fred said, I don't understand what you're saying. Cherry Fred said, my ears are still ringing. I've been on the firing range all day. And finally took a gun out of his drawer, hit one of them in the head and say, we're getting that garbage out of our community. And the event you come touch one of ours, we'll be to see two of y'all. And the other brother say, that made me want to join the Black Panther Party. The commitment of that and the stance he took.
How did you feel when you were arrested in 1993 for arson?
When I got arrested, it convicted me and took me down in 1993, but I got took down, locked up in 1992, I believe, yeah, right after the uprisings, the rebellions. It's funny because I got two dogs I named, I give them that's their name, Uprising, Rebellion, that's their name. And we use that term as opposed to calling it riot. And right in LA about the Rodney King, the beating of Rodney King and the verdict. About 15, 17 cars pull up on me, all directions, different agencies, you name it. They had pictures of me, took me in, they was like, man, you know, taking you in, took to the station. I'm looking at all these different police agencies, they telling me I didn't know what I was being charged with at the time. And it, they was fighting, like, debating on who's gonna get the case. Kind of like my mother told me when she got locked up in '69, they were debating on what agency gonna get them the case. They pulled me in, a judge named Fox. That was his name, Judge Fox. He sat on the bench, and while he was talking to me, the lawyer, the public defender, was talking to me about, your father was a great man. All the time they were making a history on me I never heard of. They were saying I was in jail before for some other stuff I didn't know what it was. So anyway, I interjected. I said, wait a minute, what's going on? Y'all you have to make up this history on me. And I ended up being locked up. We were organizing at the time to get money to make the house that he got assassinated, a museum. We would take all that money and move toward my legal defense. When I got out on bond, I was going through a Panther paper, a Black Panther Party newspaper, and I seen the same individual, the same one that all the police that locked me up was involved in assassination and surveillance of my father, Chairman Fred. Sergeant Joseph P. Grubasek with the Legion of Justice, the Red Squad, same groups, same individuals. I said, whew. This is something, So I'm constantly reminded that, it's a continuation of the attacks.
Chosen.
Are they feeling kind of sympathy with you? Or?
I would say, and I'm not to say maybe it's some individuals that may have or what have you, but it's a machine that, is put in place to continue, to bring any symbolism of our people to stand up. During the era of chattel, chattel means property. During the era of chattel slavery on the plantation. Yeah. A pregnant sister, she's pregnant, she ran away. They just, even if the one color people felt sympathy, they said, I feel bad, she's pregnant. They had to have a policy to bring her back for everybody else. Take her and slit her stomach open, stomp the baby to death. Why was this done in front of the people? To send a message, don't you ever try this. When they assassinated Chairman Fred and physically Lamar Clark, they carried Chairman Fred's body out. They were singing. The police, I'm going to show you a picture of it. The police was singing, Chairman Fred is dead. So, it's a war tactic.
You see it there in the picture. First, that's
This one?
Son says a band. Avenge Fred Hampton.
After that was in New York, you had uprisings and protests all over the world. After the assassination of Chairman Fred, that's my mother's jail photo. Deborah Johnson, that's her jail photo. That's Chairman Fred's bathrobe. That's Chairman Fred's thermal she had on. That's Chairman Fred's slippers. House shoes she had on. That's Chairman Fred's lady. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Those protests were all over the world. All over the world. The response was immediate. All over the world.
Is your mom still alive?
She's still alive. She's man. Still fighting. We have an advisory committee. People's on our advisory board. She's one of the Panthers that's on our advisory board. Yeah. She's still standing. She's still fighting. She's phenomenal, yo.
Where is she? Is she still in this building?
No, she's in Chicago. She chairs the December 4th committee. We getting ready right now. She's in the meeting right now. Getting information together for December 4th because it's coming up. We're gonna have big events. We're gonna come from December 4th. It's gonna be the 50th year after the assassination. So we get stuff together now so we can travel from the house to. She gonna give us a detail, blow by blow, what happened with that assassination. We have other people that will survive. Then we're gonna go to the wall in Madison, California, December 4th. Then we're gonna ride. We're gonna do a Cub and Community Caravan, Black Panther Party Cub and Community Caravan, right here to the house of Choppin. And we're gonna have everybody at the end. We say they can drop $50 and say for 50 years, so we can help maintain the same house, the Hampton house. Say 50 years.
That's a lot.
What day is December 4th?
Wednesday, and we're doing December 8th also. Wednesday, December 4th, we're doing December 8th Sunday because a lot of people say they're gonna be up, but it's gonna be all day December 4th. We're gonna be at the school across the street. We're doing 500 500 for the 50th. We plan on giving away 500 food and clothes bags that, from Wednesday to Sunday. We're gonna have film showings. We'll be giving awards to people who help us, fight to maintain the house. So it's gonna be going down.
Okay.
Where do you see us going in the future as people?
Depending on what day you ask me, sometimes. Where do I see us going in the future? Sometimes, brother, man. Depends on when you ask me. Sometimes you might get different answers. I keep my head up. I keep, saying we're gonna keep fighting, whatever the case. But sometimes it's bleak. You look at the status of our communities. Then sometimes I be up the last 3 days, battling. It's hard. It's rough fighting for us. Minister UEP News said one of the most difficult jobs of being a revolutionary is you have to fight in the interest of a people who don't even know their own interests. It's rough, but battling. Sometimes I'm pushing and people try to get everything else, and they only can relate to the Panther Party when it benefits them. Like I said, a lot of people are black when it's beneficial, Panthers when it's profitable, and Cubs when it's comfortable. It's battle being consistent with this here, and then also in the same breath, it's inspiring. Like in the 5th and the 7th grade, come have this type of conversation like this here, we're gonna be all right. We're gonna make it happen. We're gonna get some scars and bars. We all right, man. We're gonna be all right. And we better not. In particular, I'll be straight up with you. I'm conflicted. Because I say one hand is hopeful. I say we're going to be all right with that. I know we fight against all odds. I know y'all targeted. I know we targeted. I know you particular. I know somebody sees y'all potential. On one hand, I'm glad. I'm inspired to get this type of conversation. On the other hand, I'm fearful. And I'm fearful. Fear is an emotion, and the question how you deal with it. We don't deal with it as punks, though. It's cowards. But I'm saying, in the movie Planet of the Apes, Planet of the Apes, the one, remember the guy, that orangutan told the monkey, he said, the humans don't like no small monkeys. You remember that part?
Yeah.
You remember that part? And it's one of the guys who even He's playing a role in the movie on this, the Chairman Fred. And he said something. He called a comment, you know, after we had some discussions too. You know, he called something out recently. He talked about the Breakfast Club and all these different these TV shows. He said they're anti-black. You know, like you had like these shows on YouTube. There's one Vlad TV. He refused to have me on there. People said, "Why you don't want you on that cherry website?" They said, "Why you gotta ask?" You know you don't. It's a certain narrative they want to give. But he had said something to get back to the guy who said about him not being on the Breakfast Club. They said, well, you came when he was doing the clown, the performer. He said, I got to be on y'all show. When you stick it like a, when I was in prison, the guards would come past and they would see me reading a book and they would go say, check his cell down, search it. So I had to get a TV sometimes, just turn on to some of the Jerry Springer talk, just so the guards would stay away from me so I could go in the corner and read. Hide and read. It's like, it's like doing slavery. So, I'm conflicted, you know what I'm saying? I know it's something back to that peel and applesauce. So we had to move. But we want to make a climate where it's, once we fight for, we had in the 60s, it was a climate. And I'm talking to people right now, back to this movie scenario. They really can't understand people saying, Minister Doc, he was a deputy minister of health. It's people, this white lady named Bernadette Devlin, she's banned, she can't even come to the United States. She's the IRA. When she first seen me, she said, I remember you was a child. I remember the chain, the little bullet around your neck. I remember that. I remember Deputy Mr. Che. I remember Deputy Doc, the chairman for the titles that y'all had on your own terms. And that it was not good. You got to say, wait a minute, these are not just some 19, 20-year-olds. The type of conversation they were having, it was, reading books, the type of struggle, knowing about what's going on all over the world, not just going on their block, on their house. You have a different situation now. People don't know about, you know what I'm saying, if it don't affect me, I don't know about it. So we limited on how far we can go on certain things. But people get involved in work or become quote-unquote conscious, one of three ways: inspiration, aspiration, or desperation.
I have one last question. About Dr. Feelgood. So I feel like black people would probably go there all the time, like if they're sick or in need of something, because of the story of Fannie Lou Hamer and how the doctor took out her part so she couldn't have a child.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Say it again, bro. Say it again.
I feel like black people went to Dr. Feelgood all the time because of the story of Fannie Lou Hamer and how the doctor took out her part.
Her reproductive organs. So she could not reproduce. I believe that's what it was. And they had Fannie Lou Hamer. They had her in jail. The guards made a black prisoner beat her. She never gave her love for our people. You know what I'm saying? She struggled even her last days. Just get her hair braided. You know, there were other groups to try to turn her. There was a group of white women who tried to get her go against her husband. Said, we're gonna get you free from Pap. She said, me and Pap trying to get free. And that's you said a mouthful. You said that's powerful. To, you know what I'm saying? The Panther Party had a vehicle. Dr. Feelgood. They must have Dr. Satchel. I got some dirt from his grave right up here right now. He was man phenomenal. They talking about him in Vietnam. I'm glad you remembered that, man. And they would come see him to know that we got something in our community that'll help us as opposed to use us as some lab rats. You know what I'm saying? That's real talk. This is so inspiring. Y'all, I thank y'all for this. Real talk. I do. I thank y'all for this. Y'all timing. We're not gonna wood. We're gonna knock on wood. We're gonna knock on a Panther Club table. Yeah, yes indeed. Right on. Yes indeed. Yes indeed. Great question, man. Yeah. Great comment. Great questions, both of y'all. Anything else?
Well, you said you had dirt from who? Doctor?
That Mr. Hell Doc Satchel was my godfather. When the assassination occurred, Matter of fact, let me take y'all around through this. Show y'all some stuff here. That's Chairman Fred, security chief. A lot of people try to change history. Try to say this guy named William O'Neill was in security. William O'Neill was one of the agents from the party. Chairman Fred never let him on the security. Never. You see me? He too slick, you know what I'm saying? Chairman Fred peeked through the door, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? They tried to put him on Chairman Fred's security. Chairman Fred made it a point. You not on my security. He had the old troop right there. You know? And the Breaks family, that's where he comes from, the Breaks family, you know? That's when he was in North Dakota, Standing Rock, you know? Fighting the pipeline with the indigenous community, you know, other races, other people, you know what I'm saying, respecting their right of self-determination. That's Chairman Fred, Grant Park speaking. That's the Panther paper, you know what I'm saying, picture by the Minister of Culture. This is Chairman Fred right before he got assassinated with that brown corduroy coat on. They brought him to Oakland, LA, right before he got to take him to, you know what I'm saying, hit LA, Oakland, you know what I'm saying, put him on Central Committee, you know, over the whole Panther, you know. And he was deputy chairman, but they put him on central leadership. You know, that was the chairman of national, Bobby Seale. It was Field Marshal D.C. Donald Cox. Minister of Education, Master Youth again, Minister of Defense, Bobby Rush. This is Deputy Minister of Health, Ronald Doc Satchel. Dr. Feel Good. This man had people, they bringing donating ambulances to the Panther Free Medical, the Spurgeon Jake Winters Medical Center. They had the Jake Winters. This, man, he had a people's advocate. That means when you come to the hospital, you sick, and somebody talk to you like they talk down to you, the minister doc was on it. They said, that's the people's advocate. He said, man, you make sure that people talk to respect. If you're not no animal, no farm, you know what I'm saying? Respect. That's the Spurgeon Jake Winters Medical Center. That's what it was named after, Spurgeon Jake. Courageous. That's the police, Chicago police carrying Chairman Fred's body out. They singing, they chanting, Chairman Fred is dead. They still saying Chairman in respect for him. That's Chairman Fred's jail photo. That's when they locked him up. They put rehabilitated over his jail photo. They never forgot. That's the brother's funeral I just spoke at recently.
Tookie or Tony.
This is another brother. He was the one, I can talk about it now, it's cool, you know what I'm saying? When they gave Chairman Fred a case, they took $75 for ice cream and gave it to the children. It's a case they gave him. Right on this corner. They say he took the ice cream for Good Humor. That's why we don't eat Good Humor ice cream. They say he took $75 for ice cream from the guy Good Humor ice cream truck, gave it to the children. This brother told me, he said he done it. He told me he done it. They said he want Chairman Fred. I just spoke at his funeral just now recently. Those are the Black Panther Party Cubs right there. At the 50th anniversary of the Black Panther Party. That's the Black Panther Party Cubs. They had another event called the Gala. All the uppity people, you know what I'm saying? They talking about the Panther Party. You got to pay all this big money, you know what I'm saying? They came through, they Panthers Nash Fashion, you know what I'm saying? We went right and did it at Mary College, the Panther Party was at. They bring them in. Remember I told you, it's different between being a Black Panther and people that was in the Panther Party. I'm just in it for profit and playing games. When it comes out of some struggle, and you know what? They silence the lambs. You know? That's why places like University of Chicago, they'll grab them and say, this is your spokesperson. They say, no, we have this is the dirt. This comes from the grave of Deputy Minister of Health, Doc Satchel. We went down, we had an event for him. You know what I'm saying? We had to give his legacy. To his daughter and everything down there. And even some of the family was like, man, we know all this about Doc. Spurgeon Jake, nephew, talked to me all the time and said, man, you helped tell him about who Jake was. They need those legacies. We need these legacies. That's all the survivors that was in the house after Chairman Fred assassinated. And when Spurgeon Jake Winters right there. That's L.B. Haynes, as the state's attorney, went to his funeral. That's what, you know what I'm saying, was the poster child for the assassination of Fred. Went to his funeral, got into it with his son in the funeral. We didn't play no games. Went to his funeral. We never forget what they did. That's Minister U.E.P. Newton. That's Chairman Fred Hampton Way, the street sign we have right there. That's myself and Dr. Margaret Burroughs. She the one that founded the DuSable Museum. DuSable, you heard of DuSable?
Yeah.
Tell me about DuSable.
DuSable was he found land, like like the Chicago land area, and like because we in class we learned about him. He okay. He
Calm
like
down.
okay.
I'm gonna jump in with you. I'm gonna tell you what you. I can relate to you. I know what you're struggling with. I know what you. See, they say Columbus discovered America. We say Columbus he couldn't have discovered it because people was here. Our brother is struggling. The term to say about DuSable because it was native people here already. We say well he was one of the first non-native inhabitants that come here. In other words, he's one of the first people that was what they call Indians. But it's a struggle because a lot of these words we be trying to figure out to say it. We know in our mind it ain't making sense. How did he found it? If people was here, you know what I'm saying? One of the first non-native inhabitants, you know what I'm saying? And the Panther Party gave us an ability to talk to make it make sense. You know what I'm saying? Other people they just say stuff like white folks say he found it. Said, well, how did he found it? If people was here already. John Baptiste Point DuSable was one of the first non-native inhabitants. He came from Peoria, with Defense Captain Mark Clark, where he come from, Peoria. You know what I'm saying? Richard Pryor down Peoria. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? He didn't found it, but he had a native wife, Catherine. You know what I'm saying? He was a trader, a fur trader. You know what I'm saying? But he was non-native, one of the first non-native inhabitants. And that's what you know what I'm saying. We should know who John Baptiste Point DuSable is. And this lady here, this giant here, this giant here, she's physically short, but Dr. Margaret T. Burroughs. Man, talk about her. Don't never forget her.
Amen.
This lady was a giant.
For
Dr.
real.
Margaret T. Burroughs. She founded the museum. She was the lady date to Paul Robeson. Paul Robeson, another giant. She would write, she helped do a lot of his work for Paul Robeson. She's a giant. She helped me, man. When I was locked up, I would do poetry with her, you know what I'm saying? Dr. Margaret T. Burroughs. That's when I first came home. That's Chairman Fred there speaking. That's the house where the people came through and seen and watched what happened. The police said it was a shootout. The lawyers, one of the same lawyers in them who make money of Chairman Fred's life and death right now, who people going to pay to go see, they said don't let the people go see the Panthers. They said forget that. We coming up in there, we want y'all to see what happened. December 4th, they did tours. That's Deputy Education Che, with Chairman Fred speaking, with ED cadre. That's Deborah Johnson.
Was he killed? Wait, where was he killed?
With Chairman Fred.
On the west side.
Like the house. Like he was like they raided his house and they killed him.
He blocked the block off. The police. They came in Illinois Bell phone trucks. They took a group of young brothers, 12, 13 years old, who done security for him. The YMCA said, we sending y'all out of town on a winter retreat. They locked up members of his staff to make sure he was isolated. They had a floor plan, a diagram so detailed they knew what pack of cigarettes might be at. They came in, they blocked the people up, they came in with a bell phone truck, they knocked on the door. I said, who is it? Tommy. He said, Tommy who? He said, Tommy gun. They started shooting. They shot Valina Brewer, Brenda Harris, Chinatown in. They kept on shooting people, said, stop shooting, we got a pregnant sister here. They shoot the others, Blair Anderson, and other survivors in the house. And other survivors, Doc, got hit the most with the Thompson submachine gun. Mother comrade, Deborah Johnson, felt the shells come through the mattress. You know what I'm saying? She felt the shells come. She seen him lift his head up too slow and put it back down. She covered down on him. The police came in the room, they pulled out the room. They opened the road so we get a pregnant broad. They put the police put a pistol to her stomach and say, what do you know? And then they grabbed her by her hands, you better not run, threw her against the wall. They went inside the room and said he barely alive, he'll barely make it. They fired 2 more shots to his head. That was the fatal shots that took him out. December the 4th, around 4:35, 5 in the morning. They took my mother to B. Took them and put them in jail. I was in jail before I was born. This was December 4th, 1969. We're going to make this room a mock assassination room. We're going to, you know what I'm saying? We put that together. We're going to set up so that assassination was. So people can see what happened.
But like, what you're talking about is like, we're talking about like how the narrative was.
Whoa. Come on, man. Talk to me. Look, grab a seat. You talking about both of y'all go anyway. Please, do tell. This is some words you use. I'm going through some struggles right now with some movie people right now. Go ahead. You talking about the what?
How the narrative was changed over time.
How the narrative was changed.
And like how you were saying that how did Columbus find it when there were people already there? people have changed the narrative to say that he found it and he came there and Christianized them and like
Can't make this up.
Preach, son.
in like Disney movies like Peter Pan, they made Native Americans big and fat and like they don't know how to talk. So it's like their narrative, like what they said about Christopher Columbus helping them or Christianizing them is right.
Man, you say with Disney movies the narrative. Some people say, well, as long as the story get told, is good. But you're saying that the narrative is important. How it's told, what's said, correct? I agree 100%. And they say over 70. A friend of mine, a brother who I adopted like a nephew, he just sent me something recently. 73%, that's the majority, of articles written on the Black Panther Party back then was written by the feds, by the government. Even the people say, well, who doesn't make a difference who you get it from? The narrative, I be at protests, we be fighting, and we go back, and the news is changing. Who said what, who did what, you like, well, it'll make a difference. It's organizations that they put up on TV that say that's the Black Panther Party. We're like, why are they saying this? Why are they checking? They know that's not the Black Panther Party. The narrative. Why they want to make this image of the Black Panther with this crazy racist group that's snapping out? Why is this, you know what I'm saying? Why they want to do this? Why is the narrative of it? Well said. I agree 100%.
They're trying to change the narrative so it look like the Black Panther Party is kind of like a terrorist group.
We fighting right now. People say, what's the big deal, Chairman? The Panthers, they shooting. No, it's not that. The first name of the Black Panther Party was the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense. That was the first name of it. Look at the pictures of the Panther Party. Look at that picture. Look at this picture right here. I know we're moving around and not y'all. Look at this picture right here. Look at this picture right here. These are the founders of the Black Panther Party. Look at the picture of this. Look at the picture there. You know what that is?
Nah.
This October 1966. That's the visionary. That's Minister U.E.P. Newton, the Minister of Defense. That's the former chairman of the Black Panther Party, Chairman Bobby Seale. Look at the discipline. Look at that gun that's in that holster. Look how he's holding that shotgun. They're not waving it around. They're disciplined. If you come at us, we will defend ourselves. We're not going out attacking people. But a lot of people want to change the narrative of that. To make it like they're just going crazy, just shooting, just attacking people. The politics of that. Defense. Posted. How we defend, you know what I'm saying? I agree 100%. This guy, man, those who tune in with it, please make sure if y'all can post this up on YouTube for me, please. And send it and share this. This is you can't make this up. This is timely. This is time, y'all. I can't. Hey, I'm free. Y'all, man, you, hey, right on. Right on. I'm inspired. Yeah. Do tell anything else? Yeah. And this has not been staged. This is, this is my first time meeting everybody here.
This is like for self-defense, this is kind of like also like if you learn the fighting style, it's not like you're going to fight somebody, it's for your self-defense. Like how they're holding the gun upwards and they know how, like they're not just going around shooting people for fun.
Wow. Right on. Right on. Right on. Right on. Right on. A fighting style is defending it, but right on. It's old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I don't know what to say. I won't add to that. I'm very rarely speechless. Right on. Well said.
And right on, we also have a chant at school, and we say power to the people, right on. And they say power to the people, and the children respond right on.
Right on. Power to be right on, man. And if you can't tell the other end, put that mention into a free them all also. Free them all.
Free 'em
Let them know that too, man. But yeah, but power to people right on. Yes, y'all made, y'all man, y'all have y'all been a battery recharge. I mean, real talk. I mean, I'm going through a lot of struggles right now. We going a lot down on all fronts. Internally, we've been attacked. I mean, propaganda, fighting the choice about want to get this information out to, you know what I'm saying, the venues, the vehicles, the machines, the propaganda, the movies and all that. And man, Joel just, man, this can't, you couldn't play, you can't make this up. Right on, well said. I'm inspired. Y'all been a phenomenal battery charge. Chairman Fred say, knows that I'm an honor for the beat of the people. He said, the Vanguard Party leadership has to put my ear to the ground, learn from people, feel the people. A lot of times he said, a lot of people wonder why I ain't scared. He said, we hide the people. He said, we are too proletarian, revolutionary, intoxicated to be astronomically intimidated. We are too proletarian, meaning workers' class, too proletarian, revolutionary, intoxicated, in other words, too high. We know logically it says we cannot win, we're not gonna survive. But when it's a feeling, it's a high of the people. We're too proletarian, revolutionary, intoxicated to be astronomically intimidated. That's remember that quote if y'all can. That's what Chairman Fred. I'm gonna put a video for you. He said it, but that's one of his famous quotes though. And y'all have been a charge. Y'all have been an inspiration.
We did want to know a little bit about the counterintelligence. He wanted to COINTELPRO.
Beautiful. Right on.
Counterintelligence.
Beautiful. I'm glad you do want to know that. A lot of people say the Black Panther Party was just faded away because of internal struggles. The Black Panther Party was attacked. It was hit. You can't talk about the Black Panther Party without talking about that. You can this interview, this discussion would have been not all the way through. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't talk about that. You know what I'm saying? Counterintelligence program, COINTELPRO, a program in which, mind you, that the former Attorney General of the United States has said the Black Panther Party had to be destroyed by the end of 1969. John Mitchell said this. J. Edgar Hoover said who was the director of the FBI, said the Black Panther Party represented the #1 threat to the internal security of the United States since the Civil War. This is the biggest. There was a whole bunch of organizations back then. Since then, they said over 90%, the majority of COINTELPRO was directed to the Black Panther Party. COINTELPRO was a program at their own mouth, a program created to discredit, to demise, to disrupt, and to destroy any black nationalist movements, especially amongst the youth. Over 90% was directed to the Black Panther Party. It consisted of the assassinations of 17-year-old little Bobby Hutton, April 6th, 2 days after Dr. King was assassinated, April 4th. They gunned him down. All this part of the COINTELPRO. It forced people like Tyler Shakur into political exile. It rewrote stories. It made up bogus books. It had agents like Earl Anthony write up books called Picking the Gun, Unauthorized. It raised up people in the party who didn't supposed to be raised up. It created internal fright. It had people to questioning who going to bed with who know who, and don't focus on what's going on, but the system attacking them. It raised, it flooded agents of provocateurs all throughout the organization. It slandered the organization, slandered leadership. You know what slander means? Lied on them, made the name look bad. They took away money from them. You know what I'm saying? They had them in, give them cases. They had to bond out people. You know what I'm saying? They tried to put Minister Youth in the gas chamber. They gave up people cases. All this part of the COINTELPRO, and it assassinated people. Like we seen with Chairman Fred, the Defense of the Mark Clark, where they came at 4:30 in the morning and assassinated in a way that terrified people, to horrify people. All this was inclusive part of COINTELPRO, and we call it now COINTELPRO. It's still happening right now. I'm going through a thing right now. I'm gonna tell y'all about it. I ain't told nobody about this, man. I'm gonna tell y'all about it, yo. I'm going through some stuff right now that's so similar to what Chairman Fred went through. It's scary. It's scary. The more I asked my comrade, sit right in that chair, my grandfather's chair. I asked my comrade when I said, Stan, tell me the climate like, what it was like when William O'Neill, you know what I'm saying, before Chairman got assassinated. He said, man, Chairman, people started to feel themselves William O'Neill was one of the agents. It was not just him. It was a lot of agents they put inside the party. In fact, his special agent in charge, Mitchell, said he had 9 people on his own watch. And their job was to create distrust, to slander party members, you know what I'm saying, all the sidetrack energy. And he talked about, you know, the climate, how people you know what I'm saying, to change the whole climate. I've been going through so much stuff, man. It's like, man, they called me deja vu when I was in Menard. I was in the same prison he was in, you know what I'm saying? So, man, you know what I'm saying? This is like one of the most toughest years. You know, it's the 50th year, but every year is tough. But you know, you see the green sign stuck on the window before y'all came in. That's put up. They get real. They push us real heavy right before December 4th, August 30th. It's that harass us extra. It's the, they put up there talking about they want. And I'm on Facebook Live paying a water bill. They had it was a $6,500 water bill. Paid that. Now they said they want to take it up, cut it up again because they can't get in the house. We here right now. But they do stuff like this, they'll send to harass us, to sidetrack us. All this is part of COINTELPRO. Assassinations, give you trumped up charges, bills. You know, Champion couldn't even drive. I don't like driving. Pull you over, give you traffic tickets. All this part of COINTELPRO. To discredit you, to deny your organization, and to destroy you. That's COINTELPRO. And that's what destroyed the Black Panther Party. That's what did it.
So COINTELPRO is it's like a terrorist group kind of to instill fear in you. So if you they're saying that they put him over, they pulled Chairman Fred Hampton over because they just want to frame him or tell him to instill fear in him. Like Jackie Robinson, we were reading a book on him and they wrote him the Ku Klux Klan wrote him a letter about to stop doing what you're doing because we found your friend in the lake. I forgot his name. The boy who was found in the lake.
Emmett Till?
Yes. And they because it showed the exact letter. It said stop doing what you're doing right now, or there'll be consequences. We just found your friend in the lake. And it's kind of like COINTELPRO because they're still trying to instill fear in him and make him stop doing what he's doing.
That's COINTELPRO. To instill terror, fear, to break you, to stop us from. It impacts us. I'm impacted by it. Our programs. We buy the food, the programs. It creates a distrust with people. You know what I'm saying? And I'm impacted by it. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't even know what they're actively working for the government. You know what I'm saying? They're actively in the government. They do the stuff like this. Oh, I'm just talking. I'm just giving some information, and this is used to destroy people's lives and organizations. You know what I'm saying? And they grab certain. They have newspaper articles, write phony articles. They have people say lies about people. You know what I'm saying? To destroy, to create strife. You know what I'm saying? So all this part of COINTELPRO. You're absolutely correct.
With Emmett Till, I thought at first the people who killed him were part of the Ku Klux Klan, but they weren't. No, but I thought that maybe they had some ties with them, because you don't usually do that. But the only reason why they did is because he was apparently messing with their relative.
With a girl he apparently did for her.
Yeah, they were saying he didn't. My teacher was telling me that when he was down south, he didn't know about all those rules. He was oblivious to all those things, so he didn't know because he's from Chicago.
He's from Chicago, so he didn't. So there wasn't all those rules and segregation as much as in Chicago. And so she said that she wolf was so, but we were learning in class that she admitted that he didn't wolf was so at her.
At South, something else. It's an old saying. They say one day the South will rise again. We say when did it fall? It's still, and not to say Chicago was great. I mean, just Dr. King said he's been all over the country. Now say he ain't never seen it like a racist he's in Chicago. There are different rumors. People say that they talk about he had a list when he spoke. It could sound like a whistle. Ironically, his father was murdered too. I think for similar charges. But it really, that was a case where they with Mammy Till or others, they allowed, for the face to be, the mutilated face to be put to the world in front of magazines, everything, so people can see, how, the real deal situation with the race question. Not only in the South, but all over this country. That sparked so many, to this day, that was a major spark in people's lives. Emmett Till, that image, it sticks with us and impacts so many people, you know what I'm saying? And you made a good point. A lot of people want to say it was a Ku Klux Klan that came, but it was common white people. The term picnic.
Mm-hmm.
Picnic comes from an actual event called Pick a Nigger, where they would take black people, they would cut them out private parts and our ears, and they would sell them pickle jars, Hallmark cards and stuff. So it's not this special group of white races. It was a climate. It is a climate where people feel comfortable with that. You know what I'm saying? And so it wasn't just the Ku Klux Klan. It was everyday citizenry. You know what I'm saying? And that's something a lot of people say that they want to dismiss it, just a group of racist people. No, that was a common sentiment. You know what I'm saying? To go along with that, to go down to the lynchings, like it was common. Like going to a carnival, go to the lynchings.
My last week, we were watching a documentary on it. I forgot what it was called, but it was on YouTube. In my drama class, and my teacher, she was saying that the fact that Mamie Till decided to have an open casket funeral for him was one of the main reasons why the civil rights abolitionists and activists started getting more furious, because what they did to him was terrible. It was terrible.
They locked him
Like,
and they were beating them up in like a shed.
there's this picture of the wheel that they had on the truck because they tied his neck in a noose to a wheel, and they drove him all across the field. And
that's definitely one of the cases that sticks out. My imagery is, we more of a visual, and so even the Vietnam, the famous pictures that the Vietnamese girl with the Agent Orange, the chemicals being sprayed on her skin, tearing off. These are different times of history, with the imagery, in Chicago, the Kwame McDonald, shot 16 times. That imagery, that, something going on all the time is common, but to be able to make that connection, where that was really going down, it was the protocol terrorism that we are subjected to. Excuse me. But yes, that case of Emmett Till was a major historical mark of how they get out on us. Yeah.
also, another thing related to that, the church. There was this church in, I think, Birmingham, Alabama.
But a lot of people call it bombing dam because so many bombs out there. Yeah.
Because they bombed and the two little girls got caught.
Yeah.
There was a, I can't remember if it was SNCC or NAACP, but there's this bus that they had.
Freedom Riders.
I think so, I don't know. But they were on their way to Montgomery, and on their way to Montgomery, the bus got bombed, and people on the bus killed. And then at the church, the Ku Klux Klan bombed the church,
Right.
and 4 young black ladies died.
And the
Birmingham, four the girls, guy with the case name was Dynamite Bob. It was the Freedom Riders was the van, the truck, the bus they would go through. Right. So it was sneaking the rest of the boat.
When they bonded, it was a bunch of different ages, and we watched the documentary, but it was really short. And when they bonded, they were writing, and then it started it was smoke all in, because they boarded, because first it was the white people boarding the window so they can't see, and then somebody threw a bomb in there. It didn't. I don't think it killed anybody, but they when they finally got out, they were dropping to the floor, and they were like sick because of all the smoke, and there was the smoke couldn't get out. So there was a lot of coughing and everything, and people were screaming for water because they couldn't breathe.
Yes, indeed. And I'm impressed. We not only talked about Chairman Fred Blank at the party, but put in the story. I'm glad all the cases y'all just mentioned. The bombs of the church, everything. This is imperative to have in our conversation, because a lot of times we look at history subjectively. Like, go back to the thing about the Black Panther Party of self-defense, the climate. If you take out the climate, people are like, okay, well, why do people got these guns? What birthed the Black Panther Party? You know what I'm saying? And all the examples that y'all just given, you know what I'm saying? I'm right on, you know. And it really does history. Our people, history and because we said we serve as the people and we serve as history. Your conversations and insight does right by history and our people, because it puts in the context that takes away from this. We're these mad people just running around there snapping and shooting, you know what I'm saying? On the contrary, we're the ones under attack. So, you know, I really appreciate this. Y'all insight, your objective viewpoint, I really do. And at such a time, we battling right now. Propaganda pieces, movies, everything, we battling. Yeah.
I can't remember if it was last year or 2 years ago, but we went to Atlanta, and we saw where Martin Luther King, where he was staying. We saw, there was a museum we went to about the March on Washington. They had a lot of things about
Where the bars he touched.
Yeah, they had pictures of moments in his history, and it was. I kind of wanted to go into where he was living, but you know, according to his family, they didn't want that, but they did set it up to where we could see
Inside of it.
Yeah, like they had pictures on like a little plaque, and we went, but we did go inside the church where him and his father preached a lot.
Yeah.
And it was just a really great experience for him and I.
Right on. Well, I don't know the reason, you know, of the house thing, but again, I want to reiterate to people, the Hampton house is open. We want you to come on in. We want you to see this here. We're going to get that mattress put together. You know what I'm saying? We invite you to come on in, see what happens. Just like they opened the house up December the 5th. Yep.
Class. We also talked about, like, they may have assassinated Chairman Fred Hampton because they thought that if they assassinated him, everything would stop because they'd be scared that they would probably get assassinated too. So, like all the assassinings probably because so they can instill fear in other people, so they would stop protesting and stop and just and go with what they say, but just because they were assassinated, they still didn't stop doing what they were doing.
That's right. Chairman Fred said the best, you can kill a revolution there, but you can't kill a revolution. I'm arguing with some people right now about their speech. They trying to tell me, but their speech is different. I said, no, I know that speech before I go with a bed. You can kill a revolution, but you can't kill a revolution. You may jail a liberator, but you can't jail a fight for liberation. You may run a freedom fight out of the country, but you cannot run a fight for freedom out of the country. If you do, you come with an answer, there's no answer, conclusion don't conclude, and people that you thought would be acting like pigs, act like people are moving on pigs. Yes, indeed.
It was in the documentary we watched in school. It was very sad because they showed people just being lynched and hung from trees, and
I gotta add this too though. Watch the narratives. Because a lot of times we should know about that. But they also it's always been some resistance, but they don't want us to know about that either. I was commenting with one of my Central Committee members, my field marshal, we was telling some older brothers down south. If you know those places down south the Ku Klux Klan did not come. They're scared to come to. See what I'm saying? So also remember that too, they're not gonna show us that. In India, when you train the elephant, they train the elephant in India. If you step on the cup and crush that cup from the elephant, that cup steps on that, a cup like that, you have to get rid of that elephant. You know why? If that elephant made the connection, wait a minute, he did that to that cup. I did this to that cup. Crushed it. How am I listening to him? If they show us the resistance that we've been getting down on, it can become contagious.
Mm-hmm.
And also,
Y'all know I'm forgetting how old y'all are sometimes I'm talking.
also,
We're gonna wrap it up, but we don't keep them all night.
Yeah,
I
hey.
know, one more thing.
Yes, y'all, under condition, this not be y'all last time. I need y'all this in the fourth. I'm at, when y'all some cold on the radio show me sometime. Hey, I'm on, man, I'm tired in a good way. Let me explain what I mean by that. The other day, I was going through some struggles. I keep taking about these struggles, this movie situation. I was going through struggles, and my head was pounding. I mean, beating. Then some other comrades that came out to talk, and I said, we go through some other struggles. I said, my head is still, I said, oh, my headache goes. No, it's not. My headache still hurt, but it's in a different way. I'm tired in a good way. This has been so, I'm telling you, man, this has been, everything y'all touched on. I mean, y'all was good, man. We on the same calendar. Go ahead, though.
They were saying that how they were like, so Dr.
Calm
Martin
down.
Luther King would say that they're not.
I'm glad when he do it, I think about myself. When he charged up, he talking, I be myself. I said, I get up, Jerry Fred did the same thing. You be so, man, you be so full of, sometimes I tease Most Def, artist Most Def, I said, you got that too, your brain, your ideas being there so much, you be fighting to get them out, man, but yeah, go ahead.
And that they weren't following their own rules, and so like why are we being like why are us black black people being like beat and hurt and we're so segregated when they're not following their own rules, but they're gonna tell us black people, but they're not following their own rules.
Malcolm X, amongst so many other things, said America's democracy is in hypocrisy. He said America's democracy is in hypocrisy. This whole fraud of we all, you know what I'm saying, we be free, everybody got freedom. It's a hypocrite, it's hypocrisy, it's a front, it's a facade. And he said it to the world. Then Hillary Clinton, during Bill Clinton's administration, she was able to go into the prison in Africa and tell about Mandela. She said, oh, this is horrible. This man in 27 years. All the time they got Sunday Adekole, Mumia Abu Jamal, Delbert Africa, move that, locked up right here in the United States. It's a front. It's a front. And it allows them to go around. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like me sitting right here telling you, man, don't wear no blue. I want you to, man, lock him up. You got on blue. You're like, wait a minute. What do you got on? You know what I'm saying? So it's a front. It's everything they charge us with. You know what I'm saying? This whole thing. Not that people get legality gets the morality. They say you think it's right or wrong, but it was legal. You had in the power. You know what I'm saying? They have to make it. Minister U.E.P. Newton said that the Constitution, the U.S. Constitution, is merely pagan poetry. In other words, it sounds so beautiful. The words of white men writing these great words sound so wonderful. When it comes down to addressing this, I add to that. I say, if you put a nice beat behind it, it might be a nice rap song. When it comes to jury, you have a right to jury your own peers. Go look at any courtroom. The people in the jury don't know, cannot relate to you. To us, it's a facade. It's a front.
So what do we say? Thank you.
Thank
you for letting us
talk
to you and have this conversation.
I thank y'all. I thank y'all parents. You work y'all pops. Thank y'all parents. Your mother. Thank you, sister. I thank y'all school. I thank our people. I think our people, y'all, man. I needed this. I needed this. I needed this. I needed this. I did. I put the word out, y'all. December 4th, man. And that's what we said that we have no flyers ready. Get in contact with us before the end. I have some flyers ready for y'all. Man, let's make the school trip. Let's make history. Let's take history. Let's tape history. Y'all do our people. Y'all do Chairman Fred proud. You do that. You do Defense Captain Mark Clark proud. You do Deputy Minister of Health Dr. Satchel proud, or Dr. Feel Good. You do him proud. You do Deputy Minister of Education Che. You do Deborah Johnson, Coy Jerry, Stan McKinney, all the Panther Party. Ms. UP New. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, hey, y'all do Spurgeon J. One and so many others. Black Panther Party Cubs. Y'all do us proud, man. Again, love and respect. Again, let's stay in contact and move forward. Forward to the 50th. Yeah. We say free them all. Free them all.
Grandma.
Pounds of people.
Right on.
Right on. Right on.